President of the Senate, ambassadors, Secretary of State, President of CSCIC, Director General for the BBVA Foundation, dear members of the jury, authorities, ladies and gentlemen, poet Marshall wrote in one of his epigrams a verse that is extremely appropriate for today's ceremony. He says, "Let there be Mecenases, there will be no want of Virgils." And this is really a very apt saying, because when there is an institution like BBVA that sponsors creativity, well, there's always somebody who deserves this reward. And we have seen this at this ceremony for the awards of the BBVA Foundation. And brilliant candidates have presented themselves in the different fields of knowledge. In particular, for the Spanish scientific system, it is a reason for hope to see that patronage in the field of research and development is not anymore an exotic thing. Little by little, and thanks to the leadership of certain companies such as BBVA, institutions that sponsor scientific and technological activities are acquiring political relevance, social relevance, and the economic interest that then this was an arena that used to be occupied by other manifestations of culture and sports. Activities like football or tennis deserve sponsorship, and this is not surprising for Spaniards, because in our country sports is very exciting to many people, and sports professionals have the corresponding economic and social recognition. And this is something that is very well known. In the same way as large companies and banks sponsor the works to do with the restoration of our heritage, painting exhibitions and music concerts. Well, this is not surprising either, because that is another dimension of culture which enjoys in our country with social resonance and attraction that goes back to many centuries before. But the private patronage of scientific activity is relatively recent in Spain, and we should consider it an evident indicator of the democratic maturity of our country and its level of development. Allow me to resort to an anecdote, a historical anecdote, to give you an example of this. A couple of centuries ago, encouraged by the political changes that announced a more modern and progressive Spain, on the coast of Spain, a Scottish knight settled down, Mr. William McClark, and he wanted to foster an educational and research activity devoted to fostering arts and science. This was on the southeast coast of Spain. Unfortunately, the political turbulences of the time made McClark, leave Spain, and he went to the United States, where there were also eras of change, and he joined other colleagues of the same ideology, and in the United States they founded the Smithsonian Institute, which has made such a big contribution to the scientific heritage of the United States. And the estate of Mr. McClark became a property which was then given to Ramón de Campoamor in Murcia, in that southeastern region of Spain. And that building, which could have housed a powerful research institution, has now become a block of flats. So Spain is full of these sad histories of failed attempts to promote science. And only very recently, and very timidly, the McClarks of today are considering the idea of undertaking philanthropy in Spain for science. But recognizing science, the fact that science is recognized in Spain today shows you that things have changed in Spain, and this encourages us to plan our future better and gives special meaning to the activity of institutions such as the BBVA Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are joined by laureates from different places in the world whose activity is in the framework of different disciplines, but they share something. They share a common value. They share something common which has also inspired the Ministry of Science and Innovation since 2008, the search for excellence. We are concerned at the Ministry that the knowledge generated by scientific institutions should be made available to our society and to our economy in a fast and efficient way. I think that this is especially relevant at the present juncture, and I believe that you all know my personal interest in this question. But it would be short-sighted and inappropriate of my policy to focus on social and economic capitalization of knowledge generated by our researchers without guaranteeing, guaranteeing at the same time the production of cutting-edge knowledge. Because cutting-edge knowledge is indispensable, and this cutting-edge knowledge need not be associated to some particular discovery, because the generation of new knowledge, new excellent knowledge, contributes value per se to a culture, regardless of its application. And at the same time, our well-being and our competitiveness rest upon solutions and approaches which we cannot even imagine today, and responses to answers that we haven't even asked today. So, dear friends, in 1986, Spain opened a door to its future by approving the law of science, which endowed us with a scientific policy that was modern and similar to that of the countries around us. In 2010, the Spanish Parliament is about to adopt a new law for science and technology, which is meant to complete the work started in 1986 and to address the new needs that have arisen in the last few years. Excellence, which is the same excellence that has guided our laureates in their long path that has led us to Madrid, has also been the basis of the work of the ministry. And we want to reform our public science and technology system towards better quality and better efficiency, and we want to design policies that are more adapted to the needs of hospitals, universities, research centers and companies, and we also want to attract the best talent through an appropriate design of the research career. The law also contains the seed for the future state research agency, whereby we want to incorporate the best international practices in the design and execution of programs to promote research in Spain. The agency will draw on the model of the European Research Council, whose interest in excellence and talent has been an enormous stimulus for Europe since 2007. But the ministry is not going to wait until this law is adopted to start working. And we are still going to take decisive steps in our interest in excellence, especially at this juncture where we have crisis and austerity policies. Science and innovation is the best guarantee for our future. The competitiveness of our science, and in the short, medium and long term, competitiveness of our economy are both related. And therefore, in 2011, we are going to take the first few steps towards a new approach in terms of funding science. We are going to have a budget that will make it possible to still have the best research teams, wherever they may be. But at the same time, we want to strengthen research centers that have enough critical mass and excellency, international excellency. We do this because we are convinced that in a scene where we're going to have restrictions given our normal circumstances, in a scenario where we can't spend more but we need to spend better, we need to really make a bet for the best. We need to take a quantum leap in terms, and we need to take a quantum leap, as I say, because since 1987, with the first R&D plan we have funded in Spain, scientists individually on the basis of their merits and the quality of their projects. Since 2005, we have been trying to increase critical mass mass and fostering public-private cooperation. And the results are clear to see, and they are unanimously recognized by the international community. Last Friday, for example, the prestigious Science journal published a long report recognizing the advances of Spanish science in the last few years with the opinions of several researchers who have chosen to work in Spain. So, what we need in 2010 is to support the best research centers. These may be university departments or institutions, research foundations or institutes of different kinds with long-term funds. These funds should incorporate assessment criteria that reflect the strength of their institutions and their capacity to attract talent, guaranteeing appropriate accountability. A system that, in addition to constituting a way of guaranteeing international competitiveness of the best centers, should also improve their prestige and their social projection. Ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of my talk, I referred to a culture, the Spanish culture, which tends to applaud athletes and artists, but not so much inventors and scientists. And I was saying that I am perceiving some change in this attitude. The Spanish Football League is considered the best in the world because of its capacity to attract talent, and the Football League is sponsored by the BBVA, which is one of the most innovative institutions in the world, which now is also promoting the most significant research awards in Spain. Is a good presage. So congratulations to the laureates, and congratulations to the BBVA, and good evening to all of you.